All right, everybody, welcome to going back to the 60s trailers with none other than Tim Guccione of No Time to Bond podcast. I can't be more than excited to do this live stream with him, and today it's very exciting to have him. Tim, I hope you fueled up your DeLorean because we're going back, baby, and I hope this is a Marty McFly and Doc Brown segment for you. So I hope you're looking forward to today.
Well, which one is it?
That one I do not know. I'll be honest with you.
I can do both parts. We'd be like, "Hey, Doc," and be like,
"Hey, Doc."
Oh, I can do both.
So, anyways,
we're drifting into the wrong franchise now.
Yeah, we truly are. What's going on, Tiago? I hope you're doing well.
Tiago's in nice.
So, welcome everybody, and I hope you're doing well today. I know there's a little bit of delay on our end, so I hope you still enjoy it either way, and it'll be entertaining. So, everybody, come, sit down. Today is going to be one hell of a ride, I guarantee you. So, I'm going to say today is Back to the Future 1 because it is the 60s era. Now, I don't know if I'll be bringing you back for the 70s, though.
Earth Angel. Oh wait.
Well, we don't. We'll play it by ear on that one because I was thinking about bringing on a surprise guest for the 70s. So we'll see about that.
Very fun.
But more likely,
it's me again. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, guess what, everybody? It's Tim Guccione on No Time to Bond podcast for the 70s.
Leisure suit and do that. That'll be fun.
So, right? Is it gonna be blue like Eddie's from the Griswold, the Vacation series,
oh,
you know?
No. Probably, I don't know. I don't actually have one. So we'll have to
a blue leisure suit, everybody.
Shopping. Yeah, right.
So again, here we are going to be talking about the 60s movies trailers. I know you're as fascinated of them as I am, right?
I am actually, and especially the 60s style. I mean, trailers in the 60s were a completely different, thing back then, and it was just like, I mean, you and I have talked about it before. They generally revealed a lot more about the film to get people to come see it. Nowadays, you have TV spots, you have trailers that are so secretive about like, oh, we don't want to reveal too much of the plot of the film, just enough to get you to come see it. Back then it was a completely different thing. So it's just like interesting to see where we've come and kind of look at, I guess the prime decade for movie trailers, which I think was the 60s.
Yeah, and I truly agree. Well, I should say the 60s all the way to the 80s were, and
yeah, absolutely.
They truly were more bombastic. I'm going to use bombastic as the word here, everybody. And unlike today, where it's just straight, audio from the film and script from that. So this is gonna. I'm more excited because me. I like to reenact them. You reenact them with me, and we have so much fun with this. So I see that Daniel Gomez has hopped in here. Hey,
What's going on, Danny?
It's good to see you in here. So how today is going to work, everybody? Of course, like I said, there's a little bit of a delay. I'm going to throw up the trailer via screen share since Tim and I are currently doing this on Zoom. We want to throw up the trailer of the first film, Dr. No. Once that's finished, I'm going to end it. We're going to bring us back. We're going to talk about the film, and we're going to give our insight in speculation and all of that such. It's not based on oh yeah, the person who did the voiceover is fantastic, blah blah blah. It's just straight fan speculation, and then we'll break it down in the criterias of like, does it spoil too much, does it reveal too much of the franchise, stuff like that, and would it lure us into the theater if the film had came out today, let's say. So, why not, Tim? Let's dive into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Let me go like this real quick. And hope everybody is doing well today. So of course you all are going to see Google Chrome right there. I see Dr. No right here. So
Brian, make sure you hide your tabs.
yeah, I don't have any tabs
Wait,
unfortunately.
is it? Are you sharing your audio so we can?
Uh, I don't know. Can anybody hear audio? No audio, anybody or
I can hear it through your thing,
my
but not.
mic?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's how I'm going to do it just to play safe. I'm going to turn it up as much as possible.
There we go.
Now you made me miss it.
You don't miss a thing.
I decided to accept your invitation,
I have to leave immediately.
just as things were getting interesting again.
James Bond, 007. Licensed to kill whom he pleases, where he pleases, when he pleases. From the elegant clubrooms of Mayfair to exotic island night spots.
Good evening. Who pays you?
You,
Tell us.
A strange adventure of intrigue, treachery, and love.
Hello? Oh, Mr. Bond. I was thinking, why don't you collect me at my apartment? It's lovely up here in the mountains.
Her directions were easy to follow, and she sent a few of her friends to make sure I didn't get lost. She thought I was dead, but I proceeded to prove her wrong. I thought it was always polite to knock first, before shooting. Honey, from our very first meeting, was everything her name implied. She clung to me like a wet bathing suit. But business as usual came first. The pace was killing.
I thought you less stupid. I could have had you killed in the swamp.
And why didn't you?
You damaged my organization. Unfortunately, I misjudged you. You are just a stupid policeman whose luck is run out.
Maybe it was my luck. Up to my neck in hot water. Or something blowing up in my face.
You will live dangerously with the superbly resourceful James Bond. The explosive screen dramatization of the book that has entertained millions of viewers. The exotic and tantalizing Dr. No.
Some people will go to any extremes for a little privacy.
Now I. Oh.
Nope.
All right, it almost wanted to jump me back into From Russia with Love.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I do apologize about the audio, everybody, and I think that will be probably. I will try to figure that out as going forward.
Yeah, just when you go to share it, Brian, you just gotta hit the share audio thing.
I tend to forget that stuff.
That's okay.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, I kind of want a thing of popcorn now and actually be sitting in the movie theater watching that.
Watch Doctor No.
Yeah.
I know somebody who did somewhat recently.
I'm getting, of course, faint audio, low audio, and of course, I understand that. Again, I'm going to work on that. What a long trailer, Tiago says. And two, they showed the whole ending.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Again, I couldn't imagine, being in the 60s, because right now, that would have been a movie I would have been lured in to go see.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, now here being 2020,
2021.
2021, my bad. It doesn't feel like it still,
It
everybody.
doesn't.
Still feels like
It's just one long year of 2 years.
oh, and it truly feels like it.
I know, right?
Um, but I'm kind of like I would still want to see it.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
I think if Bond had just came out, I think it would lure me in. I don't think on a standpoint of where it holds, I should say, it would be any substantial. Uh, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of it right now, unfortunately. But what was your thoughts when you really were like saying, "Hey"?
Well, I mean, having seen the film, and I saw the trailer, years ago when I was in high school. Just like I was into Bond at the time, and I was doing a report on '60s films, and I had to I kind of watched that trailer a lot, and remember just being like, oh, this is and it was before Casino Royale came out, so I was just like, oh, this is very. First off, it's very interesting that they would show this much, and I noticed this in watching other trailers from the '60s, not just Bond trailers, but other trailers from the '60s, is how much they do reveal.
Yeah.
And basically, you have at the beginning also they have things that they reveal that aren't in the movie, which they still do today. Like some of that opening scene, oh, you didn't miss a thing. I don't think he actually says that in the movie, right?
If I remember correctly, he doesn't. But I do know this. Eunice Gayson's actual voice
Mm-hmm.
is her actual self as Sylvia Trench.
Yeah.
And it's not Nikki Vanderstil that dubbed her.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had Sean's Scottish accent, and
Yep.
it was not dubbed at all. And then when you watch the final film, here it is with all this dubbing and such.
Mm-hmm.
The trailers were
it's very rough.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very
yeah,
rough.
raw and rough cuts. So
Yeah.
I think they show the potential of what
Well,
these
they didn't
films could
have
have been like.
right, and they didn't have the trailer budgets that people have nowadays. Especially Bond. Like Bond had barely had the budget to make the movie, let alone actually have the trailer.
Yeah, it was I think it was $1 million US, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
And holy crap, that's not enough.
No. And nowadays there's certain shots that are designed just to be trailer shots, and in the '60s they basically had they didn't have that. They were like, okay, everything's a trailer shot. Let's put everything in, and you really just want people to come see the movie. Because a lot of the time you wouldn't see any TV, spots or anything on TV. You would have, oh, this is this, and then maybe they would promote it on a talk show or something like that, and that was it. So you really needed to bring people in with that 3-minute trailer, even if it meant spoiling the whole movie. Like we're all in this age of now of spoilers and, oh, don't spoil this or don't spoil that. Well, these films they didn't care. They're just like, nope, sorry, we're just gonna we're just gonna keep it as is, and you come see the movie, great. If you don't come see the movie, well, at least you know what's gonna happen in it.
Yeah, and then the '60s, you only had the chance to see it on the TV
Mm-hmm.
or the movie theater, and then at that time, there was a radio trailer, which was just the standard voice.
Yeah.
Since you can't visually see over a radio, so I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. But
And
let
they
me ask.
basically just cut it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you actually go see it currently if it came out in 2021 with all what they had revealed? Because I'm going to be honest with you.
Honestly, I probably would be. I would still be inclined to go see it, but I'd be. I don't know. I'd feel weird going to see it knowing how much of the movie I'd seen already.
Yeah, and now it's like, I don't know. I just saw pretty much the whole ending, and we all know what happens there.
Yeah. But I also like how there's something I want to touch upon in rewatching it is that there's a lot more voiceover from Sean. There's a lot of some of that stuff from the book. There's that inner thoughts and stuff like that, which I think is really interesting. And kind of there's a part of me that kind of wishes there was a little bit more of that in the
Mhm.
films. But I do think that they've done a good job of kind of portraying that based on in the actors' performances without actually needing to do that. But it would have been interesting to see more of that because people probably saw that trailer and were like, "Oh, does he talk to himself a lot?" You know, and he doesn't really. He doesn't do that. Like up to my neck in hot water and all that stuff. Like it's very interesting.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, we're about to dive, of course, into Russia with Love.
Mm-hmm.
I think From Russia with Love is truly, I think, the first one that we get with a full-on audio commentary for a voiceover commentator.
No. Doctor No had it.
Well, I know, but it was more Connery. I'm
Like
saying,
a transitional thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So we see more Connery in talking than a voiceover.
Yep.
So
Where he pleases, when he pleases, who he pleases, when he pleases.
So with that being said, we're gonna dive into From Russia with Love right now, and I hope I can get the audio part down just fine, and we'll go
Yeah.
from there right now. So
Just when you go to share your screen, just hit the audio thing.
yes. All right, let's go back to Zoom, everybody. Here we go. Screen share. Oh, share sound toggled. Whoop. Finally found it out, Tim.
Oh, nice. There you go.
All
By the way,
right.
Tiago said he has a Best of Bond CD that it contains 2 or 3 audio radio spots. That's awesome.
Ah, that's awesome. All right, here we go, everybody. From Russia with Love.
Only the second James Bond thriller could be more exciting than the first.
Krylenko. So he's back. Another Bulgarian they use as a killer. Take a look. You should remember him. This man kills for pleasure.
James Bond, that notorious, amazing Dr. No secret agent, is back, and half the world is out to kill him. As he pits his murderous talents against the Iron Curtain and its velvet women.
Well, I'll tell you something, Kulturny. You're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen.
I think my mouth is too big.
No, it's the right size. For me, that is.
From Russia with Love comes Tatiana, bait for the trap. From the 4 corners of the world come the men and women who play a deadly, dangerous game of espionage.
Do not be alarmed, my friend. We will make you as comfortable as possible.
Ali Kerim Bey, head of Station T, Turkey. Krasnogransky, codename Grant. Chief executioner of Spectre.
My orders are to kill you and deliver the lecter. All I do, it's my business.
M of British Secret Service. The woman called Rosa Klebb, playing a double cross.
Romanova, the door. Romana!
From Russia with Love. They dance for him. They yearn for him. They die for him. From Zagreb to Sofia. From Venice to Istanbul. From Paris to London. Agent 007 cuts an inimitable path through the palaces and boudoirs of espionage.
James, you're hurting
I'll
me.
do worse than that if you don't tell me. I'm doing this under orders I know. And what are they?
Even if you kill me, I can say nothing.
Oh, Brian, you're muted.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to go see it.
Oh, absolutely. Haven't we seen it already? That
Absolutely.
Now, I want to say the palaces and boudoirs of
Oh,
that. There's some really good like somebody had to write the lines for the narration. That's
truly.
like I mean that alone, and I think this guy did the voiceover for Doctor No as well. I'm assuming.
It sounds like it, and
Sounds
I
like
wish
it. And I
I
know he
did my
did it for-
full-on
he definitely did it
research
for-
now.
Yeah, he definitely did it for Goldfinger though too. I think.
I think he went, all the way to Goldfinger.
Yeah.
And we'll tell the difference here in a sec, of course. But
Absolutely.
that was just fantastic. It truly was like
It
when
is.
it said, "Oh, this is bigger than the first adventure."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it truly defined that.
It
This
absolutely
is
is.
truly bigger than the first adventure, and
It is.
it truly got me hyped, saying, "Hey, I want to go see this now." And
Yeah.
here we go. This is 2021. I'm still hyped to go see it, and
Absolutely.
I would love.
I watched it in 2020. So.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I did.
I saw it back in 1996, 97.
Now,
So-
as a whole, this film isn't like a top favorite of mine. It definitely is very much like a Hitchcockian thriller,
Yeah.
more than a Bond film. But I do think it kind of works on both levels. But once again, we have another trailer, like all of the '60s trailers, that show a lot of the film. Although the one thing I do like is that they remind you of what Spectre stands for.
Yes, I truly agree.
Mhm.
I think the reveal of that truly does help, and the fact that we finally get what Spectre stands for, which is, of course, Special Executive for Counterintelligence
But we knew
Terrorism.
that from Doctor No, though.
Yeah, exactly. It was awesome. Like they implied so much, and again, the voiceover was hyped.
Oh, absolutely.
It reaches out to you saying, "Come to the movie theater. Come watch this film."
Mhm.
And I see that we have Mike Popowski in here. Welcome, Mike,
Oh, nice.
to today's live stream.
What's going on, Mike?
Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I truly think this would actually lure me more in to see this film
Oh, absolutely.
than Doctor No now.
Also, Tiago.
But
said
we're
there's
also only 2 films in though.
right. Tiago says also there's also this. We only know the shown scenes from the end because we've already seen the movie. Maybe someone who didn't back in the '60s not even thought about it. That's true.
Oh, that is a really good thought,
That's true.
Tiago. I truly think the reason why they also showed a lot is there was no internet.
Nope, there wasn't. There was no
No
podcast,
social media. There
there's
was no
YouTube
podcast.
Live.
There was radio teleplays. That's it.
Yep. Mhm,
Radio
that's it. That's
teleplays and Ian Fleming's adaptations. Of course, at that time, we had never taken any of Fleming's original work.
No.
The only thing we have to Fleming's original work to this day that is 100%, I can't say 100% spot on because it's not. It's more
somewhat percent spot.
yeah, it's high 90s, I should say.
Yeah,
Is Casino Royale.
I agree. Maybe on Her Majesty's.
And yeah, probably on Her Majesty's.
Mhm.
I'd probably agree with you there.
Yeah.
Just because Pitt's Gloria alone.
Of course, absolutely. Always Piz Gloria, all the time, every day.
But we were talking before even doing this, like
Mhm.
these really do spoil a lot.
They do. They absolutely do.
And you notice it more as you've seen the films numerous times, which of course we both have. Of
Mhm.
course we're making James Bond content and providing it for everybody, and
Absolutely.
we grew up watching this series.
Mhm.
But you look at my father's generation, we look at your father's generation, we look at everybody else. they were in for a treat.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
I could not imagine, like being like, hey, I want to see what this James Bond stuff is, because of course at that time it was only in the books,
Yeah.
and of course they did double bills of the
Mhm.
the feature to film. So
Yep.
I think when they got done with From Russia with Love, Doctor No was just airing in the States, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and they could basically just start, they could start doing that. Of course, we know From Russia with Love came out later in the States than it did in the UK.
Yeah, exactly, and that's. But
Kind of like the situation we're in now.
right.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Just imagine if we were in this situation with like No Time to Die Out
Oh, I know, right?
back then. Oh, I think people would be a little like, nope, this film is 100% canceled.
Yeah.
So,
Imagine if that happened. Yeah, it's not happening, but.
but if you're just tuning in, everybody, Tim and I are talking about the 60s trailers, not the 70s, not the 80s,
Nope,
not
the
the
60s.
90s, strictly the 60s.
The 60s.
And I can't even do an Australian accent because,
Neither
George is
can I.
going to be involved, of course.
Yep.
And I'm not going to even attempt to do an Australian accent. So, 1960s, eh? Or, oh wait, that's a little bit of a Canadian accent.
That's like 1920s. Hey, see, 1920s.
But,
They didn't have movie trailers in the 1920s. They didn't even know what a trailer was in the 1920s.
maybe the horse carriage, yes, but
Yeah, right. Come see the latest,
yeah.
rip roaring adventure. Hi.
But I will say this, I am 100% content. I would love to know what films these were actually truly attached to in the 60s, though. Like,
Well, you got to look at the years that the films were released.
well, yeah, I'm just saying, but you look at like today. I'm going to current day here.
Right.
If you look at No Time to Die, it was attached to like Jumanji, the newest Jumanji that just came out. It was attached to, I can't remember what else. And then of course we got hit with the pandemic, and now
Right.
it is, yeah. But
I never got to
current day
experience the trailer in a theater.
say that again.
I never got to experience that trailer in a theater before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Because
bummer.
it came out in December, and then actually, you know what? No, I experienced the first trailer. Never mind. I when I saw Star Wars, that's when they showed it. I think.
I will say this: when I did see the DB5 luring around Matera, that why did you betray or something? I can't remember the exact line, and it's like, we all have our secrets. There we go.
Yeah.
Just hearing that, and then of course the machine gun and such, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. And then
Yeah.
the world may never know, and it's like blah blah blah, and it's like,
And the
then of
interesting
course
thing is,
well, continue.
Yeah, so to look at like the trailers we have nowadays, they use voiceover from the film, even sometimes lines that may not even end up in the film in their final form in the trailer. Like they do that. They kind of sort of did that back then, but like they use it to tell the story instead of having voiceover. Voiceover is kind of gone by the wayside nowadays.
Yeah, and have you noticed even with these 60s trailers, there's some lines that didn't even make the final film.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Even some shots or certain angles are different than others.
with that being said, shall we
Well-
dive into
Goldfinger?
Goldfinger?
I'm taking requests later tonight.
Yeah. Tim will be doing karaoke tonight. Everybody.
All acapella.
All acapella. Barbershop quartet.
Yep.
You name it.
Just gotta get the other guys together. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get. I know who we can
We should
get.
do that with the new Instagram live feature. We should just get a barbershop quartet going.
I know who we can get out as our low bass man.
Yeah, you do.
So Mike, if not Mike, Rich, if you decide to come in here, which of course, if you all haven't tuned into This Never Happened to the Other podcast, is the Instagram page, we introduced a guy named Richard Harris, the low bass man, and honestly, he has a voice like an angel. Like he
And you
does
wouldn't know
sing
it
in,
from talking to him normally.
oh yeah. He has that Tennessee accent. He sings in a quartet. He's just a ultimate true gentleman. And if you attend the after party for This Never Happened to the Other podcast, the debut of the launch of the Whiskies episode of Tim and Chris recorded, you will get to meet Rich himself. And I'm going to say this, he is a delightful man to me, and you guys are truly in for a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've met him too, and he's awesome. He's awesome.
Well, yeah, and of course
Can't
Tim
wait
is
to
co. I don't label anybody as co on the podcast, of course, but Tim is also, of course, a producer on that side as well. So, I can't say anything more about the people that Chris and I have. I truly think we're 100% blessed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Uh,
And I'm blessed to know you, Brian.
well, thank you, my friend. So, with that being said,
Yeah. Well, before
let's
we
dive
go
in.
into
Oh,
before
yeah.
we go into it, we got the DB5 behind me.
Oh, do we really?
Yep. And then I got my Apple Watch NATO strap that's very reminiscent of the Goldfinger one.
Very nice. Yeah, I got wrist fur on mine. I don't know if y'all can see that. So,
Nice.
Tim,
wrist fur.
waiting for you to sing "For Your Eyes Only." Which version are the Blondie version or the Sheena Easton version, Tiago?
I'm gonna sing both actually.
Okay.
And the Sheena Easton version comes complete with bubbles.
What night is the after party again? That is the 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern,
of
Mike,
April.
of April.
Yep.
And no, not March. So,
it's the
David,
7th.
if you come in and listen, please don't tell me that it's
It's actually the 17th of June.
well, and if you all have Pluto TV here on here in the States, James Bond, I think, is coming back. I thought I saw something on their social media, so I may throw up a Bond film. But again, I do have everybody a Blu-ray optical drive now, and I can play Blu-ray copies of the James Bond films. So I may have to throw up a movie after we are done with our breakup rooms and not breakup rooms. Woo! Our
Don't break
breakout
up
room.
with me.
No, Tim, I won't. So
Brian, breaking up.
it says excellent connection on my end, so I highly doubt that.
I'm good too. All right, so we're gonna get into Goldfinger.
Yeah, but Tiago said Sheena Easton, of course.
Of course.
With all the high notes.
Complete with bubbles. Always.
For your eyes only. All right, stop it.
That's the 80s. We're talking about the 60s here. Come on.
Yeah.
Goldfinger.
All right, here we go, everybody. We're heading into 1964 Sean Connery classic, Goldfinger. So, with that said, got to go to screen share, everybody, and go from there.
Audio share.
Yep, I got it. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, look, it's me.
Oh.
Stop! Look! He's gunning for trouble. 007. It spells Bond.
Shocking.
He's the idol of every woman.
Who are you?
Bond. James Bond.
The envy of every man. The nemesis of the treacherous Mr. Goldfinger. Goldfinger, a triumph in thrill-making cinema entertainment.
The man with the
A
mind.
three-time winner for Fleming's Secret Agent 007.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned man his last request?
You've asked for this.
Come and purr over Honor Blackman as Pussy Galore. The female who is all feline. Also starring Gert Frober as Goldfinger. International cheat. International menace.
Gentlemen! Goldfinger, why weren't we told that New York and the West Coast were in on this?
Goldfinger, I made a delivery. Where is my money?
And you owe me $1 million.
Goldfinger, the man with a finger in every pie. His goal, Fort Knox, the world's biggest bank. His enemy, 007, the world's wiliest, toughest gentleman agent with a license to kill. 007, it spells Bond. James Bond, mixing business with girls and thrills. Girls and fun. Girls and danger. The hotter the danger, the cooler he takes it.
I think you've made your point, Goldfinger. Thank you for the demonstration. Choose your next witticism carefully, Mr. Bond. It may be your last. Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
That is fantastic.
I'm gonna just say this. Well,
I know
hold
it's
on a
not
sec.
your. I
Oh,
know it's not. Oh, I know it's not your favorite film, but
Mhm.
like, there's something about Goldfinger that's just absolutely classic. And I do love how you can kind of tell that their trailer budget is higher on this film because of the way they're doing all the titles and stuff like that. Kind of similar to From Russia with Love, but a little bit more animated. Very obviously very 60s, but a little bit more animated. A lot more fun. And I just love. This might be my favorite voiceover outside of the one we're gonna watch next, which is for Thunderball. Just because of he's like, especially when it like. These trailers I've noticed have like a thing where they basically have a first half and a second half, and about a minute and a half in, because almost each trailer is about 3 minutes, so which is about another like 30 seconds more than most trailers we get nowadays. So it's very interesting to see how the how they kind of transition from one to the other, and how the second half starts when like it's Bond, 007, it spells Bond. Like that's just like perfect, and it's really it grabs you by the shirt, and it's like, come see this movie, and it's utterly perfect. I can't find any other way to describe it other than the girls and thrills, girls and fun, and it's perfect. It's just perfect.
Well, and it's interesting. Like, I'm gonna work back on this one.
Mm-hmm.
It started off. Do you expect me to talk in Gert Frobe's normal voice?
Mm-hmm. No, that's Connery's voice.
No, well, okay, yeah, but I'm just saying. Do you expect me to talk? Or the line that Gert Frobe spoke, the first time he spoke, it was his normal accent.
Mm-hmm.
It was his normal voice.
Yeah, you can tell it's not finalized there.
No. And then it's like, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Then it was the dubbed version.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, what were they thinking there? But that's movie magic right there for you.
Absolutely. Right in front of your eyes.
And then, of course, Bond. 007 spells Bond.
Bond.
It's like,
yep.
It's like stuff like that. It's like, all right, that just is voiceover magic right there. It's like
Absolutely.
they hit everything from the no. And Danny says this is the trailer that I kicked off the Bond hype machine, and then Thunder was the cherry on top. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that. And
Yeah.
you know, they were saying something, like Miss Galore and stuff like that. It's like they were giving the full on character introduction, and it's like, all right, that's what you need from this, because again, it was just only the books at that time.
Yep.
Nobody else had heard of. Well, by this time, James Bond was getting recognized.
Mm-hmm.
So
this was after this film came out after John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Yeah.
It came out the following year, and Kennedy loved From Russia with Love.
Yes.
And was a book. I don't know how often he read it, but he that was a favorite book of his. And also, I mean, there's that. I don't know how true that is, but that rumor that he saw From Russia with Love the day before.
I'm gonna say it's 100% actual true.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too, or at least I'd like to believe that it's like 100% true.
I would guarantee. I guarantee you it's 100%. I'm gonna say, because you look at it. The reason why it was Kennedy's favorite book is because of how true it was.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then, of course, here we have, it was in the people's eyes once it got published to Time magazine.
Mm-hmm.
In Kennedy's top favorite reads at that time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the film had been released, and of course, you can't go see a film in the movie theater once you're president, and
nope.
They had to send him.
That's what the private screening room is for.
Yeah, the private screening room at the White House, and here we go. So, I tell you what, like, even though Goldfinger's not a personal favorite, and it's nowhere near my top 10.
Yeah, this trailer really brings you in on it.
Oh, it truly does. Like, it just says, "Oh, come watch me."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I said, grabs you by the shirt and says, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah, well, I could grab me by the shirt right now, everybody, and I don't want to do that because it may unbutton a few tops, but
yeah, right.
So it's like, but still, it lures you in.
It does. It absolutely does. And
It
that's
reaches,
what it's supposed to do.
It reaches out to you from.
I know.
But
it's shocking. It's positively shocking.
It truly is. I'd probably give Goldfinger a few watches in the theater if I was in 1964.
Absolutely.
I would definitely be sitting down and watching it.
Yeah.
Like, do I think it would like it still, or would my probably not. We'll see. But it truly reaches out to you.
Absolutely. And I think it really, it hit on a lot of big things. And once again, like I said earlier, it shows a lot of the film and the ending of the film, but it shows a little bit less of the ending of the film than the previous two.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is
it doesn't spoil that much, actually.
No, it doesn't spoil how Goldfinger dies. It doesn't spoil whether or not they stopped the bomb or anything. Like, at this point, there were a lot of Bond books and stuff like that, but nobody knew, how many they were actually going to make, People didn't really follow whether or not, if a film was successful or not, if it was going to mean it would get a sequel. There weren't too many other film series at this point that were, as successful as Bond was becoming. And Bond really kind of, put out you need, if your film is successful, you get a sequel. There were the Thin Man movies of the 30s and 40s and in the 50s. Those films, that was a series, but there weren't too many other series like that. There were certain people with certain series that had certain characters that were kind of similar, but nothing to the extent of what Bond is. And then what we saw in the 70s and 80s when you have Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Back to the Future and things like that, where they would just continue on and continue on.
Yeah. And I should probably say this as well. This is the first Bond film without one main person. Ian Fleming.
Oh, that's right. That's true. He passed away shortly before it came out, right?
I think it was during the filming of From Russia with Love.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember exactly right now.
Yeah,
but
I can't remember exactly.
I think it was during From Russia with Love.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I remember correctly, he was an advisor on both Dr. No and... I know he was on Dr. No, but I don't know if he was on From Russia with Love. But I think if I read somewhere that he wasn't a fan of, like, Dr. No or it was one of those that he was not a fan of.
Of the film itself?
Yeah.
Or the book?
No, the film.
Oh, okay.
But, I know he didn't want Connery as Bond.
Oh, of course, everyone knows that. But of course, when he saw him, he added that.
Yeah,
added
exactly.
Scottish elements into the books and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I truly think it was hidden deep down that, this guy's a great person, and he definitely has that cat-like walk, and he truly is
like a panther.
Like a panther, eh?
Panther. I think wasn't that the thing, like a panther, something like that.
Tiago says, what I know is that he wasn't a fan of Connery at first. Yes.
Yep.
So, with that being said, shall we dive into 1965, the greatest James Bond film of them all? Thunderball?
Thunderball? Well, I came prepared for Thunderball. I even got a bathing suit on, just because.
Okay. I was not expecting that, but...
Oh, come on. I told you before we started I was wearing a bathing suit.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, I did. Oh. At least I'm wearing something. It would be bad if I wasn't wearing pants, Brian. It would be.
Tim, I hate to burst your ball here. Your
What?
Thunderball.
My Thunderball? My Thunderballs?
I'm not wearing any pants.
Oh, God.
I am so just kidding.
I was going to say, my Thunderballs are bursting. And I'm...
So, with that being said, everybody, let's dive into 1965's Thunderball.
Yeah, let's do it. I think they got the point.
I think so. Hey, nice little pun you threw in there, though.
Thank you.
Oh. New screen share. There we go. Google Chrome. All right. Here we go. 1965's Thunderball.
Let's do it.
I think you got the point. James Bond is in operation. And what an operator he is in Ian Fleming's Thunderball.
Have you seen everything you came to see? Go back to your friends and report. Tell them the little fish I throw back into the sea.
Bravo! Thunderball stars Claudine Auger. Young, beautiful, trapped. Could be dangerous.
What sharp little eyes you've got.
Wait till you get to my teeth. Adolfo Celli, smooth, silent. Spectre's agent of death. Luciana Paluzzi, lovely to look at, murderous to know. Friends of yours, no doubt. Come in. 007, danger sign for the world's most famous gentleman agent with a license to kill and license to thrill. 007, guarantee sign of prompt delivery, night and day service.
ravishing redheads, bronze brunettes, honey blondes, the Bond women 007 style. 007, hallmark of today's greatest entertainment.
That was very good. I love that trailer. You're muted, Brian.
Thanks for reminding me on that I was muted. Oh, thank God for delays too.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm just gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because it's my favorite film. Oh, warning: current bitrate. Oh. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay.
We're good.
I gotta remember to hardwire because I'm getting a warning now because of current bitrate. So hopefully it tracks all of this. All right, so I'm glad you all can hear me, but I'm gonna go back into what I was saying. Not only because this is my favorite Bond film. This is the first film that begins the well, technically the only film. With the lawsuit of Kevin McClory and Ian Fleming.
Yep.
And of course, Kevin McClory was the sole producer, and of course, down the road, it caused a lot of trouble for the franchise. I think honestly, it was a great film, despite the lawsuit.
And I think that, you know, I find it interesting though is that they include the a lot of the water shots because of, you know, how new that was. They really wanted to showcase that. I think they do a good job with that in the trailer.
Yeah, Rico Browning was a fantastic job that they got Rico Browning to do the underwater cinematography for it. Continue.
Absolutely. So, but I do like the voiceover in this one as well. The narration, I should say. And I do like kind of how they really they really put the girls at the forefront, not as you know, sexual beings, but as like women who are both dangerous and also, you know, have, you know, a history, you know, in Domino and I don't know why her name's escaping me all of a sudden.
Luciana Paluzzi.
Luciana Paluzzi. In why am I forgetting her character name all of a sudden?
Paula. I don't know.
I
could keep
Paula.
on naming characters.
Paula. Felix Leiter.
Yes.
No. Ding ding ding. Just kidding. But no, but they do a really good job though of just trying to like kind of put them at the forefront. And very much like in the film, the villain feels like he's kind of like, you know, I don't know. They
do show Emilio Largo's power from the get-go.
They do, but they also don't show a lot of just him.
Yes, and I think that was a good thing. They don't need to be spoiling Largo as a character.
But I also don't think Largo is that great of a villain as a whole. I think there are
no, I don't think so either. I will say this as like I said, this is my number one Bond film. I don't think Largo is a true dominant villain. He's the Spectre agent.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not.
He's number two.
He's number two.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why he's number two.
Yeah.
Blofeld's #1 for a reason.
Absolutely.
So, and then of course, I do not like how they treat. Well, in a sense, I don't like how they treat Luciana Paluzzi's character from the get-go in this film, though. Like, I should
Fiona
say,
Volpe.
no, Fiona Volpe.
Thank you.
I do not like the trailer. It focuses right on her at 1st. They show her in bed with Bond right off the bat.
Right.
I don't think that would work out in today's standards.
No, absolutely not.
I
mean, I honestly, we've seen more things in trailers nowadays, and they do all the Red Band trailers now too. So I don't know. Maybe it might have been risque for the time to show a lot of that stuff, but like, probably compared to today's standards, it's probably not much. I mean, they're both covered.
Yeah.
And then the bed kind of looks like your bed behind you.
Oh, well, thank you there, Tim.
You're welcome, Brian.
I'm just don't feel like I'm trapped in bars, you should say.
Yeah, exactly.
In a monkey in cage, or I forget the exact line.
Yeah, I know, right?
Funny trivia, Largo in the book is a ripped physical specimen. Well, guess what? You spoiled the book for me there, Tiago. Now I don't want to read it.
Yeah.
Just kidding, LOL.
Some have called me a ripped physical specimen, but it's mostly just a physical specimen.
Is that what Jackie called you? So, this is again. This is another fantastic trailer. Like, it doesn't reveal much. It doesn't focus on Emilio Largo.
No, it focuses on Sean Connery like 50 times.
Yeah, exactly. It shows Domino Duvall. Why am I forgetting?
The other thing I like is also they have that they show that thing of the light, of the emergency light on the plane, but there's a machine gun sound over it. That's not in the film. They don't actually.
Nope.
Well, the light is in the film, but like it's making an alarm sound. But I like how they added a machine gun sound over it. It goes
right. Thunderball.
Thunderball. I know exactly. It's so cool. It's so cool. And also, this might be a different narration guy for this one.
Yeah, and it sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I know we definitely have a different one in the next one for You Only Live Twice.
Yes, You Only Live Twice is different. And then I know I think it's Majesties. I think it's the same guy that's done the last few of these.
Yeah.
Returns.
Yep.
And that ends out the 60 era.
And I want to, when we get to that one though, I want to something I noticed today. I want to talk to you about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I truly and this was actually one of, I think, Thunderball. Well, yeah, Thunderball and Goldfinger at that time were the only Oscar-winning films.
Yeah.
So.
And we didn't have that again for a little while.
Yeah, and I think going forward, the trailer will, and you'll see as the trailers go on, everybody, if you have not ever watched them, it's a total change of pace for the Roger era.
Oh, absolutely, it is.
Like, they're nothing like the Connery era. They're nothing like the Dalton era.
What I find interesting though too is that like trailer trends. The 60s had their trailer trends, the 70s have theirs, 80s have theirs, and of course there was the early 2000s or late 2000s, early 2010s where it was like all the big like bombastic like Hans Zimmer type sounds.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like that was a big thing. Like, it's like it's very different, and it's interesting to see how they've all changed in that regard over the years.
And I'm gonna speed forward right now. I don't think. I think The World Is Not Enough is the last time we get an actual voiceover.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, because then we get into
the trailer, and then
Die Another Day might have one.
No, Die Another Day might. But I can't remember right now.
Yeah,
it's because it's just such a horrible film.
It is. The
And-
trailer made it look somewhat decent, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. But that's what they're supposed to do. The trailers are supposed to make you want to go see the film, whether it's good or bad. You can make a bad film a hit with a trailer, always.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, what really made them want to add the voiceover from the actual film alone? That's what I want to know.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
why did they decide to go away with voiceover actors?
Mhm.
Like, is it because I can't remember his name. He was very famous in
Don LaFontaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because he passed on and there was no one else really talented to do it?
I feel like maybe that was the case. Although there's a really interesting
Which he never got a chance to do a Bond film, which I'm kind of disappointed about.
Yeah. I don't know if his voice would have worked for the Bond.
I think it would have.
You really?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I disagree.
Okay. We may have to say that for an after discussion Madden talk.
Yeah, I don't. Perhaps.
So.
But before we go into You Only Live Twice,
Yeah.
hold on, wait, did I lose my? I think I lost my train of thought. No, it's there's a movie called In a World.
Yeah.
With Lake Bell. I don't know if you've seen it before.
Yep.
It's very good, and I do think that people should go check it out. It's basically about how it's after Don LaFontaine passed away, and they're like, okay, who's going to be the next big trailer voice? And they're like, oh, it's this guy or that guy or this guy or that guy, and it ends up like, that this woman wants to throw her hat into the ring. And it's a very, very good film if you're interested in trailers and how they get done and all that stuff. It's very good. So.
Yeah, and I know I've seen it. I think we're getting comments from Danny and Tiago. Danny says "Die Another Day" does have a voiceover in the trailer shown in the theaters. Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah. I think 2003 or sometime around when Casino Royale came out or shortly before is when I think they transitioned out of doing the traditional voiceover in trailers.
Yes, and I think so too.
Yeah.
And then Tiago says, I think he did Tomorrow Never Dies. No, it's definitely somebody else.
Well, we'll have to go check it out after.
Yeah, we'll have to. And we're not in the Brosnan there, unfortunately.
No, we are not, unfortunately, but we are doing the 60s and Connery / Lazenby.
Which, yeah, I'm not gonna do my little boy hype over Majesties, because I think Majesties is one of the best.
Oh my god!
You may see me in the background. Voiceover actors were taking out of the budget for marketing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So let's hop into 1967's
You Only Live Twice.
You Only Live Twice. Let's go like this, everybody. Go like that. Go like that. Go like this. And here we go, everybody. 1967. You Only Live Twice.
Welcome, Honorable 007. He's the one and only Sean Connery.
Welcome to Japan, Mr. Bond.
He's bigger than life, facing 1,000 deaths. And you only live twice, and twice is the only way to live.
We're too late.
Well, at least he died on the job.
Bond is dead.
Bond is alive. Kill Bond! Now!
matter what the odds. They don't stand a chance against James Bond, Sean Connery, 007. Bond, the world's greatest gentleman agent with a license to kill. And he never misses a chance.
What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Bond is back, grabbing love where he finds it.
Like a lamb to the slaughter.
Everywhere. Bond rises in the east. The odds, 1,000 to 1, but they don't stand a chance.
Get down!
All this is just a drop in the ocean. The best yet from the film creators of 007.
Tiger said, from now on, you must do everything in Japanese style.
Everything?
Did you notice?
How many times they say twice is the only way to live?
Yeah, right.
It's like 4 times, I think, 5 times. It's such a classic line. You only live twice, and twice is the only way to live.
Yeah.
Screw YOLO. It's YOLTS. Come on.
Yeah.
It's YOLT. It's always YOLT.
Yeah, it truly is. Have you realized there was a line that was delivered during the bathhouse scene?
The
lamb, something about lamb.
Oh yeah, lamb to slaughter. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not in
the film.
The final cut.
No, it is not. I do love the 007, like the opacity lowered 007 things that come out. Like that's so cool. And I also love kind of also, can we briefly talk about the Spectre's obsession with having redhead women in their organization?
Yeah, because I was about to go there.
Okay, good. Because I think it's a little it's definitely it's not a problem, but it also is a problem. You know,
it's a little cliche, don't you think?
Just a little bit. You have Rosa Klebb, you have Luciana, you have Fiona Volpe, you have who am I missing? And of course Helga Brandt, and then what's her name in On Her Majesty's that I'm forgetting all.
Ilsa Steppett's character,
Ilsa Steppett. Uma Bunt. And then of course technically Tiffany Case in Diamonds Are Forever, as we get later, but
is she technically a Spectre agent? No.
She starts off as sort of like
she's a diamond smuggler.
Yeah, but she's working with Spectre, but she doesn't realize she's working with Spectre. But still counts though. Still counts, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's a little cliche, don't you think?
Yeah, just a little bit cliche.
I think it's they truly make the film look visually appealing.
Mm-hmm. But you can almost tell that like they kind of take away a lot of like Connery's like I don't know, he kind of
mannerisms.
He kind of phones it in a little bit in this film.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can
definitely tell he wasn't comfortable anymore.
Yeah. And they used a lot of you can tell that there's a lot less of him in the trailer than there is in previous films trailers, and also there's a lot less things that when he is on screen he isn't talking as much.
Yeah, and I think that was because they said he was saying like, no, I just want to get this out, I want to get it done.
Yeah.
Just release the film and then.
Yeah, and I think.
And I know as time progressed, he wasn't. I can't remember what it was. I know he went to the Doctor No premiere. I know he went to From Russia with Love. It was, I think, Goldfinger he didn't go to.
I think he went to this one though.
He went to Thunderball. Then I think he went to this one, but during the filming,
Which was the premiere he went to where he actually like basically didn't have the hairpiece on, one, and two had like a Fu Manchu mustache.
Oh, I
Was that
can't
the Only Live
remember.
Twice premiere?
I think so.
Yeah, which was weird.
But I know
James
he
Bond is bald.
but I know he was getting burnt out, and I know the
Yeah.
filming of this film, he just stopped production and said that I'm hanging up my shoulder holster and saying I'm not playing Bond for the next film.
Yeah, although they, of course, convinced him to come back for Diamonds, but you know.
Yeah, and it's weird that happened.
Mhm.
Like, if I was him, I would have not even came back. Like, yeah, it was $1 million US and
Mhm.
the rights to film two films for United Artists, but only one film was made. But
Yep. But of course, you only live twice. But he kind of, when you make four big films in a row, and this was the second film to be in like more of a widescreen format. Thunderball was the first, which is why they touted it as being bigger than the other ones, and so You Only Live Twice was the next step into that, just expanding on how large the series was getting, and where it was going. And I do think that You Only Live Twice, as a film, it is hit and miss with a lot of people, but this trailer really, like I said, you basically make a somewhat in between film a great looking film because of the trailer. And it definitely shows, although it shows stuff from the end, it doesn't show as much as the previous one. So they're starting to realize, okay, we don't need to show as much from the film anymore as we did before.
yeah, and we honestly don't need spoilers galore.
Exactly.
Like, this was
You don't
another.
even see, you hear Blofeld, but you don't even
Yeah.
see him in the trailer.
Yeah, you don't even see Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, so they do a really good job with that.
And this was the reveal film of his character. You don't know if he's getting revealed or not.
Yeah,
by the trailer. Which, honestly, if I were Albert Broccoli, Cubby Broccoli,
Yep.
or Harry Saltzman, I should say, and director Lewis Gilbert, all of them, I would say, don't reveal him.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's probably what they said.
And especially during I know they changed Blofeld's it was not Donald Pleasance at first. I forgot the guy's name that did it.
Yeah,
but I would have not had Donald Pleasance revealed. And who knows if when it was announced that Connery was hanging up his shoulder holster for the next film.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Majesty's would have been the true film to finally say, hey, let's reveal Blofeld.
Yeah. I think that would have been a much better thing. It would have made
Because,
more sense.
again, this film, we all know Blofeld has a scar. We don't know how he gets a scar.
Yeah. And then, of course, in the next film, he doesn't have
Yeah,
a scar.
exactly. He's
and
just
the film
missing.
After that, he doesn't have a scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just know that in Majesty's, there's something wrong with his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he's missing earlobes.
Yep.
Which he hacked off.
Mm-hmm.
So
to go with the Blowchamps.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Tiago said, "Oh, we're gonna go back to Dan LaFontaine. LaFontaine might not have done any voiceover for Bond, but he did for Austin Powers. That is true.
Yeah, it's very true.
So
So Batman Begins set the trend for no more voiceovers besides saving marketing budget. Yeah, that's true. Danny makes a good point there. That's good. That's true.
Two great points actually, and you know, those Austin Powers trailers, I are actually very bombastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can truly tell Mike Myers' love for the character,
Mm-hmm. For sure.
which we may consider. I'm just kidding, not. But
he loved he did like the character in the 60s aspect, which is why he spoofed it as a 60s type spy.
Absolutely.
In a modern day.
And, you know, I hate to say this. I'm going to go like this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear in the comment section right now. I'm just doing a little research right now. I want to hear in the comment section. Shall Tim and I review or give our thoughts on the 1967 Casino Royale?
You want to do it now?
It is the 60s.
It is the 60s.
Shall we do Casino Royale, or shall we just stick to the official films? Because I was thinking once we get to
we should dedicate a whole episode to doing that.
Yeah, I agree. But
it requires.
Shall we do Never Say Never Again as well once we get to the 80s?
Oh, I like that.
But I want to hear now. Shall we do 1967's Casino Royale? But personally, I think it's honestly it's cheesy, but it's one of those that truly does deserve to be reviewed. I think.
Oh,
like,
for sure, 100%.
I do like Burt Bacharach and Herb Alpert's score.
Yeah.
Tiago says, "I hate Casino 67. Do it." All right, that's one. I don't know who else is in here, so I think Danny is, but
I think just Danny. It's showing 3 people, but I don't know.
Yeah, we were doing really well. I think it's because
I'm
people.
The third person.
Oh, well, I think people were hating the fact that we're showing these trailers and
Oh, absolutely, yeah, it happened.
I was hoping this was going to be more exciting. We had a good amount.
Oh,
of
it absolutely is exciting, and people are missing out.
Yeah, jeez, what's with all them haters? Haters got to be hating.
I think we should move on to Honor Majesties.
I think people left because Tim didn't sing. Well, Tim. Well, we'll have a little bit. We'll do a discussion, full on, like 45 minutes, because we're actually doing really well on time, which is kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
After Majesties.
Yep.
So I unfortunately, I think Tim and I will do 67 Casino and
Never Say Never.
Never Say Never Again after we're done with these reviews completely.
Sounds good.
So
moving on to Majesties.
Moving on to the greatest James Bond film of them all.
See if you can pick up on the word that they use a lot.
All right. So let me go like this real quick. Go like this. Let me mute my mic.
An avalanche of action. Bigger, better, different. It's got to be when he's around. Vistas of sweeping splendor. Different. It must be so if he's in the picture. Fabulous beauties, all of them dolls, every one different. They've got to be when he's around.
My name's Bond, James Bond.
The new Bond.
Suppose I were to kill you for a thrill. The different 007. George Lazenby. The different Bond from the same stable. Diana Rigg as the Comtessa, the different Bond woman. This one's got class and style. The villains with a difference. Telly Savalas as Blofeld, a new destructive force.
With a difference. If my demands are not met, I shall proceed with the systematic extinction of whole species of cereals and livestock all over the world.
Gabrielle Fazzetti as Draco, a tough mafia daddy with a problem child.
Papa, where's James?
Don't worry, he'll join us soon.
But we can't leave him.
He doesn't need your help.
I will not go without
You
him.
have to. On the day you marry her, I'll give you a personal dowry of £1 million.
Oh. 007 times more exciting than your wildest dreams. The creative skills of the cinema's master filmmakers.
We'll hit the rush hour.
If you think you know your Bond,
Okay, I honestly can't.
But
I can't. Didn't pick it up.
different. The word different.
Oh, okay.
Is said many times, which is kind of almost like a little like psychological thing that they're doing to the audience that's watching the trailer. Is that like, yeah, this is gonna be different. Hey, guess what? Hey, guess what? Hey, it's gonna be different. This is not Sean Connery. This is not, your daddy's James Bond.
That's right.
Like,
yeah, I forgot. That is they did do that for a reason. That's right. I forgot about that.
So
Because, yeah. Continue.
Yeah. So it's very different. And what I do like about the as someone who does graphic design, such as myself, in video editing, I like the way these trailers that we've seen have been edited. I like the way the last trailer was edited, and I like the way that this trailer is put together. But also the fact that they like actually show like the song. This was the first time they had like an actual song that was separate from the main theme of the film that they wanted to feature. And obviously, with it being Louis Armstrong, of course you want to have that up there. And so it's, it says all the time in the world, something like him, and you definitely like have like kind of a middle point where they kind of transition from, okay, this is the traditional Bond, feel, and then this is the, non-traditional Bond feel of like Bond's gonna fall in love. He's probably gonna get married, but people didn't really know that at the time unless they'd read the book. There's a lot of like,
Well, was the
big
book
things in here.
even out by 1967?
Well, yeah, of course, all the books are out by this point.
I thought they weren't.
Well, at least the ones that they were making the films of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
Obviously, some of the short stories.
I'm not
and stuff
a
like that.
literary Bond fan, and everybody. I've mentioned that numerous times. I didn't start reading the books until COVID, or listening to them, I should say.
Yeah. So Honor Majesty's obviously was out at this time.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that there is trying to pinpoint it exactly, but there definitely feels like there's like a changing of the guard thing, but they didn't want the changing of the guard to happen when it did happen, so they're like, okay, we're just gonna make it different. You know, it's different things, different this, different that. Lazenby barely talks in it. I also don't like the voiceover that they're like, oh, the spoiled child or whatever. You know, I'm like, or problem child. I'm like, I don't really like that. Like, it might have been okay to say in the '60s, but it's not really okay to say that now. It's not okay to say that at all now. So, I don't know. That's my take on it. My hot take on it.
I agree. Tiago says a different Bond woman. This one got class. I would be pissed if I were Ursula Andress, Honor Blackman, etc.
Yeah, because they're saying that the other ones don't have class. Give me a break.
Yeah, exactly. Are they a little trampy or something? Is that what we're trying to imply here?
I guess so.
But, yeah, this one, like, I love the elements that they do hit with it, but it doesn't hit the right elements. Like, I love how they do give, of course, Lily credit, and if I remember correctly, I think he passed on shortly after this film too.
Yeah, he was already pretty old in like the 50s when he was doing movies and stuff like that. Like, so yeah, in '69 he probably would have been.
Well, I think he died from like cancer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because but
I can look that up for you.
I think I think just this one doesn't hit the right elements.
You know.
I think that's what truly didn't lure the people in. And
yeah, he passed away in '71, by the way.
Okay, so 2 years after.
Yep.
I can truly see why people said this was not a successful film at this time, because it didn't lure you in, saying, all right, I don't, it's a different Bond, it's a different this now. And as you said that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
different. You basically just could, put on the thing. It's like, this is a different Bond, like if we didn't get the picture at the end of the trailer or after seeing the movie, then I mean, did we?
Yeah,
I think we did. It's a different Bond. It's completely different.
And this one, they truly don't. They don't build up George as James Bond at all. They just say, of course, like you said, different.
Yep.
They just imply it's that they were counting on Gabrielle Frazzetti, and they were counting on Dane Diana Rigg. They were counting on Telly. They were counting on the other people. They weren't counting on George at all. You can truly tell they were. It was. It looks like it sounds like they were truly setting him up to fail, even though they had signed him to a 7-picture film deal.
Which he, of course, then, rejected by, the behest of his agent.
Yeah. Gosh. I can't imagine what was going through Harry Saltzman and Albert Broccoli's mind when that was...
Yeah.
When that happened. Like, it's like, fuck, here we go again.
And I talked about it last season in my podcast. We talked about like if Dalton had taken over instead of Lazenby, and I think that would have been a really interesting take as well. But I think they would have promoted it in the same way. This is a different Bond,
I agree.
Yeah.
But Tim at that time was a recognized. Even though he's a Shakespearean actor and he did a lot of plays. He was still. He was.
But he would have played.
But so was Lazenby. Lazenby was only 30.
Yeah.
And, Dalton at least was a household name. You could still. Yeah. He actually had acting experience. But
Connery wasn't really a household name.
No, Connery was only famous for Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Exactly. And
he was the diamond.
And was it South Pacific?
Song of the South? No, not Song of the South.
It's not Song of the South. South Pacific, I think, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
She's my little... I can hum it in my head, but I don't want to do that.
I'll sing it later.
Yeah.
I'll take requests.
We're gonna do karaoke after this, everybody. And we'll go from there. So.
But yeah, I mean, different is like, I mean, that's what it was. It was very different.
Like, I think Lazenby did fantastic.
I think he did great for what it was. I think if he had one or two more films under his belt, I think he would have cemented himself as a pretty decent Bond overall. But since like Dalton, he didn't have that, you know, or he had the opportunity but chose not to pursue it further. You know, I think.
But
kind
Dalton's
of
was, if we're gonna talk Dalton here, Dalton's was strictly his decision.
Yeah, but it was technically it was somewhat Lazenby's as well. You know? Although his agent was like, "Oh yeah,
but
don't
his
do this."
agent was more advising than anything.
And his agent was like half correct too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because in the 70s, Bond took a slight dive. You know, Roger Moore isn't a bad actor and was a good Bond for what it was for the time, but like, you know, the 70s wasn't as profitable as the 80s ended up being for a little while.
Yeah, Roger was only famous for The Saint at that time, really. Yeah. And mainly Millicent's, and he played James Bond in mainly Millicent in that little role.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny how there is a reference in The Saint. I don't remember which episode it was, but Roger was like getting mistaken for James Bond, and it's like, but you know, if you really think about it, Roger, he was fantastic. He did fantastic. I'm not a big Roger Moore fan as James Bond, but as an actor, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
Dalton, I wish he did more. Dalton, I truly wish he had done more.
And I kind of wish Lazenby had done at least, you know,
3. I would say
one, if not
least,
2, you know, more. Yeah. Exactly.
It's all about that alternative timeline. And now with doing this, we're probably have screwed up space-time continuum.
Yeah, right.
So we're all going to live in an alternative universe, and hopefully COVID does not exist in that.
Yeah, hopefully.
So...
oh, this is heavy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to be turning out to become a dog, you know, and I'm going to be Brian Griffin, actually.
Yeah, right. Great Scott. No, I'm just kidding.
Great Scott there, Peter.
Great Scott.
So, you know, it's crazy. Like, I will say this, out of all the trailers that we had watched today, I'm going to go with my favorites. Probably From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, and probably Thunderball.
Yeah. I actually rather like the Dr. No one. I'm not going to put that number 1. This is like no particular order, but like I like the Dr. No one, I like Goldfinger, and I like Thunderball.
Okay.
Yeah, that's trailers. Those are good.
So I don't know. Like, we'll find out if they technically get better as the 70s go on, and I truly think the 70s ones have a great twist to them.
Oh, I think so too.
And again, if you have not watched those, they're truly way different than what we have now.
Absolutely.
Or what we have seen in the 60s, I should say.
Yeah.
They're definitely different than even current day.
I agree.
I would say
like
these.
Is.
Yeah.
Everything is generational. You know, decades and decades. Everything's different.
But I will say, the 70s. Well, we had Roger for 7 films. Right.
Yep. Four in the 70s alone.
So with that being said, I think it's just going to be a straight Moore era.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to do it that way. It's going to be a long episode.
How much more? Roger Moore?
Yeah. But you can tell they focused 100% on Roger.
Right. Absolutely.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Yep.
But with that being said, we're open for discussion on anything James Bond related, and I hope you enjoyed our little trip back to the 60s. And we will either stay on here if you guys want us to stay on here, or we can continue it on Instagram Live. So
I'd be willing to move to Instagram Live if you want.
yeah, we're going to move it to Instagram Live, actually. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for taking part of today's event. It was glad to have Tim Guccione of No Time to Bond podcast. Go check him
Glad to be here.
on iTunes, Spotify, and any other platforms again, Tim? I can't remember right now.
We're on Google Podcasts and Apple, Spotify, and Stitcher.
And if you're all inclined, go give him a follow as well at No Time to Bond podcast. And stay tuned for the after party of This Never Happened to the Other podcast coming up this April 17th. Times are coming up right after
you can't have the after party without the party.
That's right. You got to enjoy the first initial episode coming that morning. So, with that being said, the times of the Zoom event, which anybody's allowed to attend, so just message myself at James Bond Aficionado. This Never Happened to the Other podcast on Instagram, or you can message Tim at No Time to Bond podcast. You can message Chris at British Bond Addict, or you can message none other than our new producer himself, the low bass man, Richard Harris, which I can't do a low bass voice, unfortunately.
Low bass voice.
Which, again, Rich is a fantastic gentleman, and you guys will absolutely love him as well. And I cannot wait till you guys actually do get to meet him, because he is one fantastic cat. Again, those times, April 17th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. the next day, which is unfortunately...
That's the introduction party.
Yes, this is the introduction.
The premiere party.
The premiere party.
And then the after party after.
Yes. So 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock in the morning, unfortunately, in the UK. 8 a.m. Tokyo. And 11. That sounds something from like Harry Potter.
I know. Guardian Leviosa. Let's get
11 a.m.
Wrong franchise again.
Damn it!
Dang it!
11 a.m. Australia time. So, for Brian Levesque of James Bond Aficionado, I can't thank you all enough for attending. Tim, thank you so much for joining me today.
Anytime.
Alrighty, you guys all take care. We will see you on Instagram here shortly.